Hello and welcome to the Marty and Tavi show. Marty is having some technical difficulties, so hopefully she'll be able to join us in just a little while. But we got the show started 5 minutes after, and so we didn't want to disappoint anyone that actually may be wanting to see this. We have a loaded show tonight. As you can see, the title is Legislated Citizens, Non-Citizens, and Alligators. We've heard a lot of talk about this new um, detention center and its conditions, and a lot of people are very disturbed by it and its conditions. And so we're going to just go ahead and start talking about that. Let me see. I'm kind of thrown off because I really wanted Marty to be here. At the same time, I wanted to start the video just to be sure that we stay consistent, because we've been consistent the last 2 weeks. So um, it is what it is. But anyway, let's see. So I have one video that I'm going to play. We're going to first talk about the legislated citizens. There's a man named that a lot of people actually hear the name, but I don't think they quite understand the story or the struggle. All right. And I'm going to play that video, and then we're going to be able to come back and talk about that video. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to see if I can play this video. Share my screen. All right. I might be able. Let's see. All right.
In 1846, Dred Scott and his wife for their freedom from enslavement in a St. Louis court. Over a decade earlier, Scott's enslaver, John Emerson, had brought Scott with him as he moved from the slave state of Missouri to the free state of Illinois and later to the free Wisconsin Territory. During this period, Scott met and married Harriet Robinson, who became part of the Emerson household. In the early 1840s, the Emersons and Scotts returned to the slave state of Missouri, where John Emerson soon died. When Scott offered to purchase his freedom from Emerson's widow, she reportedly refused. And in 1846, Dred and Harriet Scott each filed a lawsuit for their freedom. The two cases were later consolidated into a single case under Dred's name. They argued that their time in free states and territories had already legally freed them. And this argument agreed with the once free, always free policy that prevailed in many U.S. states. But when a later version of the case made it to the U.S. Supreme Court, Chief Justice Roger Brooke Taney wrote a majority opinion that ignored precedent, distorted history, and refused the Scots their freedom. The court ruled that without national citizenship, African Americans could not sue in federal courts in the United States. And it didn't stop there. Led by Taney, the court decided that Congress should never have had the legal power to approve or deny slavery in territories in the first place. The Dred Scott decision not only denied Dred and Harriet their freedom, but it also overturned the Missouri Compromise and the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which had attempted to maintain a delicate sectional balance between North and South as new U.S. states and territories were added to the expanding United States. The Dred Scott decision was immediately repudiated by most of the northern United States, and it has long been considered one of the worst judicial decisions the Supreme Court ever made. Dred and Harriet Scott remained enslaved until 1857, when they were freed by their enslavers. Harriet lived for almost 20 more years, long enough to see the 13th Amendment to the Constitution abolish slavery in the United States. For more, visit Britannica.com.
Okay, so we now know the story of Dred Scott, and we understand what he was trying to do and what the Supreme Court did not allow him to do. And basically, they ruled that nobody of African descent could be a citizen. Okay. And then shortly after that is when we got the 14th Amendment. Hold on. I think, okay, let me stop that screen. Sorry. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Thought I had Morty coming in, but that was actually the video that was still playing. But anyway, so, okay, there go Morty. Yes.
Sorry.
Just in time. I am like lost and scattered because I just knew I was like, well, okay, I got my one hitter quitter. This is gonna be good. You just came in at the perfect time. I apologize, but you know the Dred Scott story. So I just played a video of the background of Dred Scott because that's the reason for the legislated citizens is Dred Scott because we were, and so his court case, which it just talked about, it didn't get overturned. It still established that without that 14th Amendment, we're not citizens. Okay. Did you want to talk on that a little bit? I just think it's funny that everybody is hyphenated, but all of the ethnic white groups in America, and then they just get to be straight American. But
And you just, I just wrote that down, seriously.
Are you for real? Okay, so I'm all in that. So go ahead. Let me hear it.
Toni Morrison, where she said, in this great country of ours, to be American is to be white. Everybody else hyphenate. Facts. And as far as those amendments and all of that, to me, they're null and void until we are treated humanely. Those things mean absolutely nothing. Nothing. So we're still.
It's all legislated. It's definitely not from the heart.
Right. But as
so anything legislated can be unlegislated, as we see right now, right?
or never legislated. Because when I feel like I can pick up the phone and call Dr. King for some advice. Why am I feeling like that in this day and time with my daughters? That's just stupid. But as long as we allow it, I saw where Malcolm X said, a man, and I'm sure he meant woman too, don't ask for power. You take it. Why the hell we still voting for stuff that's automatically ours?
Well, we're locked into that system. See, America has created a very defined system. It's like an invisible line that they keep us in that we can't quite see. A couple of out of the box kind of people can, but for the mass majority, they just keep us in a system, and we know that system. And I don't know, we're just kind of creatures of habit because you got to think about the African civilizations. The majority of our people follow kings and queens. So it doesn't take much to pull us together. We're just being directed wrong. And we're in this system and it never changes. It's the same system. It just gets repackaged and maybe renamed.
Yep. Dr. Marcus Garvey said, once we get our minds back, it's over.
Yeah, and I believe that the we would mean that I think with our generation, because it's our time to lead, to be honest, and we're not doing a very good job of it. We're just sitting back watching, know what to do, been trained to do it. Honestly, it's so many of us. Yep. But we're so comfortable at the same time for this generation. But what about our future? Our future is not going to be the comfort. So if you're not fighting for that future, like the baby boomers and the people before them fought for their future, then we have no future. And that's why me as an introvert, I'm out speaking. That's why we're doing this right now. I'm going to do what I can because I don't want to be comfortable. I don't want to feel 20 years from now, my grandkids asking me questions. And I say, well, we seen it. We saw it, but we was tired of them white folks. What? You didn't fight for us?
Exactly. Like, good mother.
Hold on. I think we got some comments, girl. Oh, wait a minute. Matu is in the bill. Hold on. What did he say? Let me see. He He say this is a perfect system of white supremacy, not a democracy. Now, too, if you want to come in, we'll send you the link. Just text me and I'll send you the link if you want to come in and talk on your own. But we got, yes, like I said, we have a loaded show tonight. And let's see. So he said, "You change laws, not mindset, without a fight," and that's correct. That's right. That's correct. Y'all on the
money. Back to what you was just saying. Who said if you ever wonder what you do during slavery, the Holocaust, civil rights movement, and so forth, you doing it now? I don't know who said it. I don't know who said
the Holocaust movement. Whatever. All I know is I know when I hear Holocaust and the association of phrases that I hear around that is they always telling us never to forget. But then with the Holocaust, it's always never forget. So how is one story of horror better than the other when ours is unique to this country?
That's not what it's saying. It's saying if you ever wondered what you would do during those times, you doing it now. That's why you said when your grandkids say, "Well, what you do?" We're doing our part. You know what?
We are, but it's so many more that I know because honestly, I'm not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be doing this. Come on, we were pulled out. We're supposed to be long gone and comfortable by now, but we're not.
Exactly.
So we know all those people that's in comfort. They know too.
Malcolm,
shame on them because they're in position and they're not doing what they need to do. Yet alone have to fight. Like, come on, just open some doors and turn your head. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you gotta fight cowardly, I'm just saying.
Muhammad Ali said we failing as a people because we're willing to do anything for money and nothing for our people. And that's what we have come to.
Mm-hmm.
I saw earlier, Mr. Brown, I forgot his first name. He and city councilman, I guess, were talking about article.
Thomas Brown, and he was talking about what Courtney said. You talking about that?
Yeah. Okay. It's like we're tired of this. It's time to come on. It's time for y'all to stop stealing or whatever you're doing, because clearly it's not benefiting the people here. Because if it was, our situation would be totally different. But since it's not, they're carrying on the white man's way of treating their own people. And that's psychotic to me, you know? But
yeah. But it's psychotic, but you just said it's psychological. That's exactly right. It is psychotic. It's crazy to the person that still have their mind, and then is not crazy to the person who don't have. I mean, it's the same thing as all the people that Harriet Tubman could have freed, but they didn't know they needed to be freed, right?
That part.
It's a conditioning.
I'm not lying. They knew. Like you said, they was comfortable to an extent, because you can't be comfortable in knowing that next week it could be you, because they're going to take care of their own. They always have. So, I mean, no, ma'am. I'm not buying any of that anymore. About they ain't know. Try it again, sis.
But look, this is what I do so I don't divide, right? Because what I found is it's a lot of us that could have been doing better for East St. Louis alone, because everybody loves East St. Louis. That's our root. But at the same time, they can't talk to each other. They can't respect each other. And so I try to make sure I keep a defined line on what subject matter I want to really zoom in on, because otherwise the conversation stops. And that's just what people do. And so I like to keep the conversation going. So like I told you last show, or I don't know, I told somebody this. I talked to so many doggone people. Girl, anyway. And if I didn't say this to you then, but I said use the Christopher Columbus, for example. I don't talk about the Christopher Columbus because it's controversial. And it's really not that important to me to talk about him. You know, but I'm going to talk about reparations, and I'm not going to divide you about reparations talking about Christopher Columbus. So that's the kind of reasoning I use. Not that I'm bailing out of anything, because you know I ain't never no punk. I ain't never scared. But More so, I found that a lot of conversations go dead because of stupid stuff like that they get locked in on and mad about. And I'm like, y'all don't even have to discuss that. That wasn't even important. That ain't going to liberate us in one way or another. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I try to keep a level head because I go into all these circles that I don't really be knowing people half of the time. And that keeps me safe because I'm having conversations that I don't mind having on camera with any and everyone. I'm keeping it public, you know, and I'm keeping it neutral, not neutral to where I'm scared and I gotta whisper when ain't nobody around type stuff. I ain't on that type of stuff.
I hate that, girl. I'm like, nobody's here but you and I, so I know you BSing right there. That's my red flag. Go ahead.
Okay, you know, but more so the fact that, like I said, I don't like a lot of controversy. When I do, I pick my fights because what I realize is if I got fires everywhere, I'm not going to be able to contain it. And eventually all them fires going to contain me. So I ain't starting all those fires that I don't have to start because I know I can't watch them all. It's some work for you, so I'll be leaving something for you too, Marty. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. You so sweet.
You know, so yeah, I mean, and that's the work, is doing the work. And a lot of people are comfortable. Our generation, we came right after they did all that fighting and hollering and whatever else they did that they call civil rights, right? And I appreciate all of that. And we got to live that. We got to have real teachers, especially living in East St. Louis. Like we got to probably feel that not a lot of Black people can speak to around this country unless they live in a native town where the people been there for generations and generations, and you just got that core of community people for real. And I appreciate those teachers and I appreciate our upbringing, but we have a duty that we have to do. And I'm talking about Generation X. This is Generation X call that we need to really be stepping out here and using all of the tools that we were given, because we were giving a lot of tools, and a lot of our people didn't live a long time because of all our good soul food eating and all that other stuff.
Took them out.
Happy though.
Hold on. Earlier today, I texted Wanda Story and I asked her. Well, I didn't ask her. I was just reflecting on exactly what you said. Lincoln Senior High School and our educators. And I said, you have got to be crazy if you didn't think they understood what they was bringing, their worth. But it was never about money, how much you gonna give me so I can leave the classroom. It was my future. That's why they stayed in those seats for so long. They knew their worth, but that check didn't outweigh their future. And then going back to Muhammad Ali, we're doing everything for the check. And we got to get back to those values, those morals that we somehow thought.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. We were missing something, but I don't think we understood the gravity of that day, you know, because they didn't explain to us. It was just, this is what you was going to do, and you didn't question adults. Now we got to feel like we got to fight this battle and answer to kids. That's too much.
But you know what? That's on us, though, because we the ones stayed complacent. Now, I was trained up. I ain't had no easy. No, I ain't kick it. I haven't kicked it that much at all in my 47 years. Everybody that know me know I've been doing exactly what I'm doing now. I didn't just grow up and one day say, "Oh, I want to do this," and No, I've been doing this since I was 16. But what I do realize is we still those people that may not do it. They didn't grown up and they're like, "Oh, what's up? I want to go ahead and try this out now." You know, you done hit over 45 now. You ready? But you're not ready because you haven't studied yourself approved to be ready. So in order for you to be ready, now your passion is ready, and that's a beautiful thing. But for real, in order for you to really, for real, be ready, you have to really be able to read and research and do the work that needs to properly advocate. Because if you're just leading with emotions, or you're going and just want to be the face of whatever, and you got a white person in the back in your ear that's using you like a puppet,
Yes.
And you're smiling up front like you're doing this and that, and you feel like, oh, this person is helping and I'm looking good for doing this and that, but it's not impactful because it's not coming from where it's really needed. And so with that being said, these leaders have to know, no, I'm not going to sell out because this person came and dangled $10,000, even though I know that this is taking the organization or whatever function you're a part of in the wrong direction, and it's not going to make any good. Because a lot of times people are just getting together in the name of saying they're doing good for the community, but they're just getting together to spend money, to be honest.
That's it.
They're just, okay. Like, you know, and then we don't, I'm getting a little emotional. Let me pull back because I'm supposed to have my emotions checked when I'm talking. But it is, it's, man, you don't talk like this is our out right now. And then people probably don't even know. But this is our phone conversation that we were supposed to have, and we having it now. But I'm disappointed. I keep on calling our generation because we're the younger ones of the generation.
Mm-hmm.
The older part of our generation is dang near 60. And they comfortable as heck. When I say they're comfortable and they're not doing nothing, I'm serious. But then at the same time, you don't have anything. You're not going to be able to leave the kids anything. You're not, like, you got to get out and do something. If it's nothing but a little bit, something is more than nothing. You think about the Marcus Garvey movie. It got put together with coins. It got put together with coins. But it was so many people because the power wasn't the money. The power was the people. And that's what our people got to understand is all money ain't good money. And that we got more power in numbers than we do in that money, because when we get together, that made people uncomfortable too.
Okay.
Because they were like, whoa, they usually fighting each other. Wait a minute. Shut it down. What are they doing? Oh my God, shut it down. They getting together. Hold on. Buzzer.
All of them.
And that's the reason, like I said, I went and examined so many movements that were supposed to be for us, and only to pull down the core of it to find a white woman at the top.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, this is why this hasn't changed, because you can't lead our struggle. You can help. You can support it.
Yeah.
But you too busy negotiating the status quo instead of wanting to tear it down. I want to tear it down every time, because what I know, I done read and I done studied and I done listened to my elders, and I know that we tried and it didn't work.
Right.
So I'm not going to do the same thing that didn't work, because unlike a lot of my peers that I was just talking about, they don't know that yet. They don't know we tried and it didn't work. So the stuff that get presented to them be the same stuff, maybe renamed something else, and they can't see it because they ain't studied themselves, approved to know it. And then they don't want to get their butts out of way and let a real person that do know deal with it. And so when we at a negotiating table, we're not negotiating, we're just cooperating. We got faces at these tables cooperating and not negotiating because they don't even know what to ask for. And when they do, it's nothing. It's crumbs. But then we have the immigrant groups. They make it to the table and they know exactly what they're focusing. Their eye is always on the prize of economics. We're always on the prize of symbolic thing. Oh, we're the first. Oh, we in this. Oh, we want to be the face of it. Okay. So that's what the fight been about. It's a symbolic victory. I'm ready for the economic one.
Keep that. Right. Keep that.
So look, it's 25 minutes in. We got a lot of comments that Matu did. So I'm just going to go through them real quick. I've shared them, but I'm going to go through them so you can see them, because I don't know if you've seen them. And then we're going to move right into the video, show that Aligators, and let people see the new facility if they haven't seen it. And then we'll start talking about that, and then talking about a comparison of that facility versus the facilities of American prisons, and see if they complain about the same thing. Because surely non-citizens shouldn't be getting treated better than citizens, correct? All right.
Exactly.
So look. So earlier on, he said you change laws, not mindsets, without a fight. Any comment?
That's facts.
All
Look it
right.
up. Mm-hmm.
This one says this is a perfect system of white supremacy, not a democracy with oppression. Dr. Francis Westland. Okay, yeah, that's my girl.
That's her.
They sleeping on her too. They was sleeping on her,
Yep.
but she had her scientific bag in the bag of what she was saying and didn't care. Now that was a bold sister because she could have just folded
I
and
love
blended.
Yeah, I love her.
If you want to know what's wrong with Black people, look at the church. Okay.
Oh, yes. I mean, because the church used to be the center of the community. We used to educate within the church, but now it's a 501c3 ran like a business now. I mean, you can't even talk about what's happening within education in the church. Teachers are in the church. They're not willing
well,
to.
Trump just said you could do politics in the church now, so maybe to get a little more interested.
So much, girl. Bye.
No. He passed some kind of order. No, it's a real rule.
Anyway.
All right, let's move on because y'all know I'm a little sensitive about the church. I just ran into that episode that Aliyah was teaming up on me, and I had to pull my cross out. So hold on. All right, so freedom is inside job. Okay, yeah, I think so. We have accepted a lie that we're a minority. We're a nation within a nation. I know that.
That's right.
Why shouldn't? And what they say is, of all the nations across the world, we are if we were just be a nation by ourselves, we would be the eighth largest economy in the world. So think about that. But yet we are impoverished somehow in America.
You talking about African Americans solely?
Our 42 to 50 million African Americans, we bring in like a 1.2 trillion dollars income, and they said that alone is make us the eighth largest economy in the world. Like, just
that's why in the part of the Willie Lynch letter where he talks about controlled language, where they say if you tell the slave to go out and get our crops, an educated slave was like, "No, bro, I ain't even included." No, you do it. Yeah.
Unlearned conditioning is what we're suffering with. Okay.
Fact.
Epigenetics. Okay, we know about that. When we accepted their religion, we accepted the reinstitution of slavery. Christianity, I don't debate, was used to perpetuate slavery and keep slaves in order and all the other stuff. So you're right. We don't want to have those hard conversations. Me and Marty do. That's why we got the Marty and Tavi show. So we'll have the hard conversations, and all those people that went up that we didn't get to go up because we had to stay as gatekeepers and make sure because we have, I mean, I feel fulfilled in my role of what we've been doing and the relationships that we have and the influence that we have on things, especially when it's rising situations in our community, and we can call on some of those people just by making a sound, and they watching us anyway, and they pick it up. I have that experience, and I think you had that experience too. So, but if we didn't open our voices, or if we didn't advocate, like you're consistent about sending things and keeping face and all that, emails, whatever, you know, all of that is the work. It takes time to do that. And a lot of people could just be I could be just sitting up watching movies all day. Because there's a lot of people who is. You know that, right? My husband, one of them.
That's my brother.
He gonna entertain and he gonna be like, what? When I start telling him some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, read this. He be like, just tell me what's up, babe? Yeah, so anyway, I'm busting him out. Okay, let's see. We want our people to do something, but we're embracing religion that teaches us to wait on someone else to fight our battle. Jesus do fight my battle, but I do know faith without works is dead. So you are right on that. We got to do our own works. Only violence stop violence. We think we can talk, march, pray, or fast oppression, and violence. No, we know that violence stop violence, and that's why we do have the right to bear arms in this country. A lot of people in different countries do not have the right to have guns, and that's why a lot of people ain't going to come and do no full-ground attack on Americans because we're armed. That ain't so in other places, so that's an advantage.
Let me ask you this, because there have been a number of legally Black people carrying and was killed. So do we still have rights to bear arms or not?
We have rights to bear arms, but we still have racism and all that other stuff that we've been fighting against. Right? But when we now refocus, and we focus on the economics, and we create our own group economics, and we have our own power, because it's one thing having the power as American citizen, but having some money with it makes you look better. That's why the Asians are treated okay. That's why the Asians were able to get a hate bill before the Blacks were able to get a hate bill, because of their economics, right? One thing one of my Asian friends told me is, I was like, well, I said, do y'all experience racism and all that discrimination? Oh, of course. I said, well, what do you do? Said, well, what we realize is that the people who don't have anything to lose is the ones we experience it from. But the ones that we are in contact with the most are ones that do have something to lose. So we don't really have to deal with it all that much. It's only when we go into those atmospheres where, there's somebody that don't have anything to lose. And I was like, oh, that's how it plays out for you. And being so, when you have the economics, you're going to stay in good grace. Honestly, you're gonna be able to be in better areas. You don't have to live all impoverished, because what happens in a lot of impoverished, not because people are dumb and impoverished, but the resources, there's deficits all through impoverished communities. So where there's deficits at, it's going to turn criminal. And that's on purpose. But we'll talk about that. And those are why I call all the inner cities across America franchise plantations, because they knew exactly what they were doing when they created it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play this video, and we're going to be empathetic about this, because this is something that all these people have come into America and came into the great America, and they don't know America for what we and our ancestors know America for, and all the things that we've had to endure. So they're looking at it. Nobody has probably even been in the prison cells and all that to realize that we have plenty of people, because Black males are the ones that they're imprisoning most, that have to live under these same extreme conditions that you're complaining about. And guess what? They're American citizens. So anyway, let me go ahead and try to play this video. All right, so I'll hit this to share. And all right.
Everglades. Florida Democrat Debbie Wasserman Schultz called the conditions disturbing and vile.
This is an appalling, outrageous environment to detain anyone. This place needs to be shut the hell down. It needs to be shut down.
On NBC's Meet the Press this morning, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem challenged that description.
I wouldn't call them jail cells. I would call them a facility where they are held, and that are secure facilities, but are held to the highest levels of what the federal government requires.
Miami Herald reporter Ana Ceballos is covering the controversy surrounding Alligator Alcatraz. Ana, just this morning, you and your colleagues at the Miami Herald and the Tampa Bay Times published a list about 700 names of detainees who are either at Alligator Alcatraz or scheduled to be sent there. What's the significance of what you found on that list?
So the importance of that list is really being able to identify who is in there, what are their criminal records. We found that at least more than 250 pending, but they are there instead for immigration violations.
And did you ask the government about that last fact, that they don't have charges? Because the administration has been saying these are the worst of the worst, the evil of the evil.
I did. We list before publication with the Department of Homeland Security, as well as with the Division of Emergency Management, which has been identified as the state
I think we get the
operating the site.
point.
We did not
Yes.
Let me see
hear
if I
from
can
the
pass it.
state
Because I
agency,
wanted to
but we
see.
did,
Okay, right.
supposedly really strong winds, although it is unclear as to how strong. It's also trailers and, portable restrooms and showers. There's supposed to be legal services on site as well as medical services, but there has been a very big disconnect as to the services that are being provided to detainees there in terms of legal access.
Feeling empathetic
attorneys
yet?
are having a difficult time contacting them, emailing the facility to set up visitations, to set up secure lines, to talk to them about their pending cases, in some cases, asylum cases.
And what do detainees who are able to talk to their families and attorneys saying about conditions there?
We've been able to talk to a few family members who have been in touch with their loved ones. They have expressed concern about just, that there's no consistency to the access, again, with attorneys, and that there really is no communication from the state as to how to visit or communicate.
That looks like a nice
with their
facility.
legal counsel. There's also concerns about
I've been at shelters
showers
that didn't look
they
that
are
good.
kind of working on and off or not being able to access them. Some people went 5 days without showering. The toilets at one point were not functioning one day. They were overflowing. Some of them have been fixed. This is a facility that.
So it's hello.
I'm here. Hold on. I'm freezing up. I'm trying to shut this down. Hold on. I'm sorry. It's froze on me. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
You can keep talking. Keep it going while I try to shut this down. It might just be taking a little while because my hand moving slow back here. Once this video go down, I should be fine.
Listening to the reporters and looking at Alligator Alcatraz, it puts me in the mind frame of the alligator bait. But before we get to the alligator bait, let's look at the preschool to prison pipeline and how they're coming after our children. So, like you said earlier, it is nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. It's repackaged, it's renamed, it's everything, but nothing is new. And it's going to come a point where we, as Black women, who not only are moms, but grandmothers, aunts, loves, whoever, tell this country enough is enough. I don't get out thinking. I swear I don't.
Keep talking. I'm still froze. Keep going. I wanted to kind of bring out, too, about the harsh conditions with the jail. So if you can get out, I might have to leave and come back. So
okay. As far as like Natavia said about the prison industry, that is like golden for the white people who are invested into the criminal justice system. And as an educator, I get a chance to see how this crap is playing out. And it is sickening that this country is the way it still is because we've allowed it. You done?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna enter through my phone. I'm trying to come in, but you can hear me. You just can't see me.
I can see you.
Okay.
We back.
I don't know. All I see is the screen I was playing. So can you still see the screen on the screen?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Hold on. I'm gonna.
So for those who are listening out there, do your research on the preschool to prison pipeline and see how they are attacking our young Black babies inside of the educational institution. I mean, because this is leading up to it is
I messed it up. I'm sorry.